people. Why they get offended so easy? Throw a pair. Just take it and move on. Yo, Fluffs, what's up? It's good to see you guys. Thank you all for coming. I'm glad you could make it. Vicky, good to see you. Do you have PJ Group?
Oh, good. That's still flying. Dudes, still loves us.
Hey, man. Michael Con, what's up, Peter Tabian? How you guys doing? And we are live, I think. Yo, Fluffs, what's up? It's good to see you all. Tonight's going to be a very trigger-some stream for people. I've already been having some trigger.
Both you and Dave are just.
Get out of my pocket!
You are too much of a coward.
And Craig, if you beat the fallacy king.
You stupid woman.
That's gonna be an interesting one tonight. Yo, Fluffs, what's up? It's good to see you all. Thank you all for coming. Glad you could make it. We do have Roger, PJ, Al, and Ryan in the house. How you guys doing?
Oh, good, sir. Oh, good. Good to see you.
I'm all right.
Roger just stopped. But it's good to have you guys. Oh, Roger's back. Okay. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for coming. Really, gonna have a fun one tonight, I think. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard some exciting things about it. So
How much do you plan to watch, though?
the whole thing.
But like for this first part of it, though.
I don't know. We'll see how far we get. Like I said, I haven't watched anything of it yet. So this is really fresh towards me.
Sometimes it's hard for us to get out the first couple of minutes of a video. So this one being 7 hours long, it might take 3.5 years to finish, but it could do it.
But it's good to see you guys. Everybody in the YouTube land.
Watching
thank you
it 5 times the speed.
Appreciate you all in YouTube land. Please hit that like, share the show. You guys are awesome. Appreciate everybody here. Okay. So I'm probably going to have to share it. Let's see if I can get it up. Why is it not giving me a choice to share it? Oh, I closed it. Sorry about that. Let me get it quickly. I am so smart. This is very professional, guys.
I'm the same with my streams.
I didn't realize I closed it. That's the thing. Okay. Sorry, I had to rush after work to get everything set up, and it's like I had a very busy day at work today. Okay. Woohoo! Okay, we're set up. I'm gonna do it this way. We can all see beautiful. Okay. So right, guys, you can stop me anytime you need to say something. Just say aye. And then we'll stop.
Will do. Will I?
But how's this for his thing? Flatlined, exposing what flat earthers really believe. So he can divine a person's belief systems, guys.
Exactly.
He can divine what a person thinks.
There's no point in exposing it. I mean, ask us. We'll tell you.
There's nothing to expose when we have hundreds of hours on YouTube of what we believe.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm exposing their secrets that they put on YouTube, but no ads for free.
But what I find really look at his thumbnail. The one it's like what I use now with my face at front. Using again a straw man, flat Earth in space.
But to his credit, he does acknowledge that it is a straw man. He does actually go over that. How most people think that's what we believe, but it's not. So just to give him some credit, he does later on say, no, this is false. They actually believe in this, and he represents it properly.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Like I said, me and Veritas have been Veritas. We have been talking a bit in Discord, but I did ask him if he wants to have a discussion, and he seems not to want to.
It's easier for him to
So,
just run you through the coals if he can not hear you defend yourself. You know.
so yeah. So what I did is though, that's why I said let's maybe we can have a debate then, since he doesn't have a discussion because he feels it's not going to be honest to talk to flat earthers. Like, what kind of excuse is that?
Wow.
So Veritas, if you don't want to do it just as a discussion, we can debate if that's really how you want to discuss with me. It's fine. I think it's a bit cowardish, to be honest, to say, let me make stuff about flat earth, but I refuse to talk to flat earther. So I think that's a bit of a cheap shot. You know what I mean? It's not really the right thing to do.
No.
But he's always welcome to come. I did tag him in. I tagged you. I put his video up. You guys can go and watch it. Also, it's 7 hours long. We're definitely going to go through it. Almost 8 hours. But yeah, he's definitely welcome to come have a conversation, a debate, or whatever he wants. I just feel it's a bit low blow not to want to actually talk to Flat Earther, even after making such a long video.
Almost 8 hours long.
Yeah. But to be fair, most of these videos aren't that long, these streams, though. Okay. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Just scared of the music, so when it does music stuff, I'll just mute
Mute.
it.
Oh, aye, because of like potential copyright issues, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
He does know that people that do this, though, are usually people that only get into Flat Earth.
Aye.
Yeah.
Man, my audience is already restricted on TikTok, and what do we say?
Restricted how?
Yeah, the other night as well, it restricted TikTok restricted my audience. It's like, what
I'm
did we
losing
do
faith
now
in
wrong?
TikTok.
Oh, don't worry about that much. It could be something really small. It really might not be anything even related to the subject.
Weird.
TikTok's
Hey,
weird.
busy guys.
If you say something about government, for instance, it'll do that. So
Okay. Well, there's obviously going to come some really controversial stuff up, obviously, with this guy, so we'll see what happens.
yeah, don't be surprised if it doesn't get pulled off TikTok.
Oh, music again. Sorry.
That reminds me of the music from 300.
Oh, yeah.
300, a little like that.
Oh, man, does he have to have McToon laughing?
Fake.
I know,
Obviously.
There's a fake son.
This
This is
in the
about
background
one
while the
thing.
guy's telling
They're
him,
taking six.
you're lying. You're lying. And he's just sitting there giggling like a little girl, like, oh, you're the silly one for thinking everybody's liars. So man doesn't lie, no?
But look at this guy.
Oh, I'm
It's like
calling
looking at
bullshit
what's wrong
already.
with you, dude.
Mm,
That's actually a face of disgust towards you, McToon, by the way.
aye, absolutely.
That's like, what's this grown-ass baby laughing about?
Tee-heeing and tittering all over the place.
I mean, think of it this way. If you see a grown-ass guy in there, a person's giving an argument, for instance sake, and he's sitting there laughing like a little child, what does it tell you about the maturity of the guy?
Exactly that. Exactly what it demonstrates. He's a child, immature. I mean, it's okay to be immature now and again, but to be a
He
child.
lives in his grandma's basement.
Wow.
I mean, let's put it this way, he plays with toys.
Lego?
constantly. Yeah, he's always
Hey, that's not fair. I play with Lego.
childish, he's immature.
Legos are W. Come
Yeah.
on. Legos are cool.
Yeah,
They're
not
cool,
Space
but
Together.
I'll admit I don't do it for I don't do it because I need to make money or anything. I just play with.
I
them
play with
one of my
Lego, but
friends.
with my children. I play with Lego but with my children. Otherwise, not myself. I think I've grown out of that.
I mean,
Well, you got me beat on being a tough guy because I play with them by myself.
Lego is cool all the time. Like, I don't even care. I like Lego, even though I don't really use it
I'm
anymore.
sorry, I do too. I mean,
You should just upgrade and go to Meccano.
I'm not against using it against somebody, but I mean,
You can't really bash a man for using Lego.
No, I like I prefer
can.
Meccano
well,
myself.
at least he's creative.
I
Mechanic
can get bash him because he's always trying to use it as some kind of leverage, as if he's smart. Like when he sits with his Rubik's cube. Oh, look at me, Rubik's cube. Oh, it's the same thing. The guy's just. It's everything put together that makes it childish. I mean, I know grown men that have Lego and then they actually build a whole room full. But that's cool. That's a different story. But he literally just plays with it.
A Rubik's Cube is
Make
swear,
tune and cool
hidden camera
like
there,
in the
you'll
same
probably be seeing
sentence makes no sense.
I think if you had to put a hidden camera, you'll probably see him there with his rocket.
everybody in here realizes that you can solve a Rubik's Cube by making the same moves over and over and over, right?
Yeah.
No, I did not. I've never.
You just
Yeah, there's a
You
trick
just-
to it, and once you learn
you
it, you
just
can
have to do the
master it
same
quickly.
pattern and then it gets it done. That's why you
See,
can
I
get
thought it had to be solved, and so I thought this guy next door that lives across from me, I thought he was a genius because he could do it all the time. And then when I found out he was cheating, I was so mad at him. I went over there and I gave him a big lecture.
but I mean that's
about
why
Rubik's Cube.
but that's why you can get people that can do it blindfold. Actually just
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Or in 3 seconds or whatever.
yeah, whatever. Okay, let's carry on.
$65 million a day from you. They're hiding the fact that there is a creator. They're hiding the fact by making fun of me.
I saw an interesting thing today. Looking at this now, on Twitter, a guy built himself a like a little vacuum chamber in his backyard, and with a glove and everything, he used an astronaut's glove, and he stuck his hand in there and he puts a vacuum. And when he puts the vacuum on, he can't
move his
really
hand.
move his hand at all.
wow.
So, what does that tell you? There's definitely something off about everything.
Mm.
Yeah,
He says he really has to strain himself just to move his finger.
Mm. Wow.
That's not
And these
right.
guys apparently sit and do a spacewalk for what, like 4 hours?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Makes so much
it does
sense.
work out. No.
Alright.
They
Let's
must
just
have
hope
some
this guy
special
actually
jelly.
presents something with this video, though. Ooh, music. Ooh.
Definitely does remind me of the theme music in 300.
Think of it as a giant lake with all of the continents. What's beyond it? I don't know. What if we lived here? What if
That
this
was
is where we
these
lived?
five-
Right there. These are
Yeah.
other ponds with their own suns. This makes sense.
Okay. Is he gonna do this the whole way through? Just put this stuff with music.
Nah. This is like the intro because he's making it like a grand, like the documentary.
Exposing.
Okay, maybe we can go to where
This
it's
is the dupers
awesome.
before the like.
Yeah, like skip the intro. Yeah.
There we go. Why make a video about flat Earth? Okay, let's go there then.
In big time, you can collect big time cryptocurrency.
Right to the video game.
The amount of adverts I got on the live last night, Flats, was unbelievable. On a 20-minute video, there was about 20.
Oh man, that's good.
And I've gotten death threats. I run up on gang members. I run up on people.
Yeah. Okay.
More McTrune. Wow.
Oh boy.
Electricity get out of me, bro.
So what is a quasar?
Wow, that's
Just-
he's good, man.
Just want to get to
After this,
Flat Day Saints, he's good. He's
Okay,
mad,
there we
he's
go.
good. He's off his nut, but he's good.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see it.
Oh, CC.
CC. What's wrong with my internet now?
About 4 years ago, I stumbled across something that changed my life. And others around me, too. I discovered the flat Earth.
Okay.
Now, I don't quite remember when or exactly how, but at some point recently I got sucked into the, let's just say, fascinating world of those that believe the Earth is flat, and the debates that take place between them and those who attempt to defend the generally accepted scientific model. It's harder than you'd think attempting
Scientific model and showing ozone. Okay. Okay.
to describe exactly why I personally find this discourse appealing.
Just stop being a condescending prick, all right? Try.
Why
Try
don't
for
you
2
stop
minutes.
condescending to the entire human race and pretending that every scientist ever is a liar and satanic deceiver?
And yeah, Mr. Farina was a very big condescending prick.
Yes.
No, never.
That's all he ever does. That's literally his MO. When he debates someone, he's just condescending and insults the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Because the guy can't debate.
No, he hasn't done a debate.
No, he doesn't know how to debate.
No.
Not something to be proud of, Dave.
No. Mr.
That's
Dumb
much
Dave.
more offensive than me calling you stupid.
Sorry?
Professor Dumb Dave.
Yeah.
Which you are.
Dave, what is the sun?
I've come to discover that there's quite a lot you can learn about somebody by how they react when you just so happen to let it slip that you have a morbid fascination with spending some amount of your free time watching two adults argue with each other publicly on the internet about the shape of the Earth.
What's that?
Where's your camera, dude?
My camera, dude? My camera's right there. I'm getting ready to hit a bong.
You don't want to show a bong hit on camera? Okay, dude.
You know what I find weird? Red never shows his face.
Never.
He's never ever, he doesn't want to, and when someone tried to attempt to show his face once, he I don't know, went crazy. Yeah. I think he is very embarrassed actually, guys. He knows. He's a scammer, in other words.
Yeah, that video got recommended me today again, Flats, from 4 years ago. From Red side, yeah. From Red side, not on your side this time, from Red side. Yeah, 4 years ago today.
No, I don't want you to see it. No, I usually hit it on bong, but I was worried about you rebroadcasting. I was being courteous to you, but if you don't mind, I don't mind.
No, I really don't give a shit. Anyway.
All right, cool.
Now, there's something about this particular topic that triggers a kind of fight or flight response in everybody involved in the conversation, including myself. There's always an immediate momentary tension that can really only be resolved by addressing the painfully obvious elephant in the room. What shape do I think the Earth?
Okay, I've got to quickly say something about this. The reason why the people feel uncomfortable about it is because you don't like to be challenged on your belief systems.
No.
That's why. It's called cognitive dissonance.
Yep.
It's not because it's stupid. It's because you're challenging someone's belief. And when they get thrown into the deep end and they're getting challenged, they feel uncomfortable. It's called psychology.
Yeah, Mr. Cheswick, retarded and his late Pontchartrain garbage. Yeah, exactly. If that was curvature, dude, wow. The world must be so
Are they
small.
still pushing that garbage?
I think
They still
so.
are, yeah.
I think so.
They still do.
Earth is. Now, at this point, I feel compelled, as if at gunpoint, to preemptively reassure them that, don't worry, I believe that the Earth is, in fact, not flat. Now, almost without fail, the response that I get comes in question form, and generally falls into one of four major categories. And I've come to discover that you can learn quite a lot about somebody from which of the four you get. The first response is one of curiosity. So wait a minute, do they think you'll just fall off the edge of the Earth? What do they think about the moon and the other planets? Are those flat too? Do any of these people debating ever have their minds changed? If this is some kind of massive cover-up, what's the point? Why would anybody need to lie about the shape of the Earth? Now, the second kind of response I get...
Okay, I think we've been through this kind of thing the whole time.
Yeah.
It seems like this might just go through for a lot of old arguments. It's been all, they just say over and over and over again. I don't know why, but it does seem that way. Mr. Chiswick, it does seem that he's made a 7-hour hit piece on us, 8 hours almost. It does seem that way.
Mason's always had to repeat everything 3 times.
Yeah. Hey, Trev Bear, good to see you, man. Thank you for coming. Please hit the likes, share the show. But is Veritas in the chat? Hey, Veritas, if you're in, man, the link is above if you want to come in and have a discussion. It would be great. Hello. Glad to have you in, man. I would like to have a conversation with you, by the way. I think it'll be great. Ooh, Solve is also in. I didn't see him. Hey, Dave, I was wondering where you were.
Had to go pay taxes, man.
Do we have enough? Do we have enough members and subs for him to grace our little?
Oh, Veritas said we don't need to worry about music and copyright. Okay, thank you. I'm always scared of that stuff because it's like crazy.
I'd still be careful.
Oh, it's own
You
music.
see,
That's
now that had to be on purpose. If you notice at the timestamp of 4:20, he included me smoking a bomb.
How
Red's
dare you.
rhetoric. And
You're the only one that knows that, though.
I also want to point out, to put it all in context, now, I did that. I turned off my camera because I knew he was restreaming and I was being courteous to his broadcast. You know, I'm assuming he wouldn't want that on his broadcast, so I just did that. All right. Secondly, that was the one that Red's rhetoric rage quit on me because I kept catching him using assumed fucking values for everything, and he rage quit.
It really is you. I was in the kitchen making coffee and I thought it was you on the video Solve when I heard your voice chatting away to Reds or something, and I come in, it's you.
But yeah, Veritas,
I would just be courteous, man. I mean, you don't give a crap if you smoke on camera. You'd be courteous to him. Absolutely.
No.
But yeah, Veritas. Oh, he's got the link is above. I can send you the link as well. How do I don't see the share screen. How do I? Oh no. Sorry. Bye, Luca.
Oh, I know. Luca's gone. We had a vote of whether or not to shake hands.
There's the link, Veritas. You want to come in, man?
Was that?
But yeah, I'd like to have a conversation, Veritas, because I think we can actually. Sorry.
I said hello, Vicky. I can't type. I got stuff on my fingers. There we go.
Was that Luke trying to get back in again? Was he? Just a minute
Yeah.
ago? Oh wow.
Yeah.
He's
But
stalking. He is on the verge of stalking, man.
Everybody says no more Luca. Actually, Veritas, dude, I see you play a lot of games. We should actually play some PUBG together sometime.
Man, my son laid it right out on the line about Luca last night. That was great, man. He told him, he says, you get people to feel sorry for you. He said, you're an excellent troll. He said, I've been watching.
Oh, wow.
I've been watching what you do. He says, and people take pity on you, and then you use that to be able to come in and you try to derail every freaking show that you try to come on.
Never a truer word said.
You say that, Dave.
Absolutely hit it right on the nail. Right,
Ooh, nice.
Right on the head. Absolutely.
I got Battlegrounds Heresy, but I'd like to get armor actually. I haven't played in such a long time. I actually put it on the other day again. Played about a few rounds. It's actually what I enjoyed. Nice
What
to
is
just PUBG.
I don't know what that is.
Okay,
But
let's
is
carry
that
on a bit.
video?
While we wait for it.
First-person shooter.
Computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Vicky, definitely no more loot. He's just stalking. That's all he's doing now.
Okay, let's carry on.
Is cynicism. These people are, at best, uneducated and closed-minded, and at worst, mentally ill. Why give them any attention or platform their paranoid delusions? Listening to these debates would infuriate me. None of these people are interested in rational discussion. I feel my IQ dropping 10 points every time they speak. No thanks. The third kind of response I get is that of skepticism. Wait, there can't really be people that actually believe the Earth is flat. I thought this was all a meme. No mature, educated adult in 2024 could possibly be this ignorant. None of these people actually believe this stuff. They're just desperate for attention and want to be contrarian.
Okay, Veritas is going to come in, so we're just going to wait for him.
No, wait a second. This guy brought up his IQ dropping. It didn't seem like it was very far to go. What do you measure IQ by? What's the standard? By whether you can regurgitate bullshit that somebody told you without verification? Is that an IQ? Come on, brother.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. IQ is actually just based on logical patterns, okay? What's logical deduction when it comes to the globe Earth? Nothing, because you don't see the Earth moving. You don't observe it. You don't observe anything the globe throws at you other than, oh, look at the sky. It looks pretty, so therefore globe.
You did say goodbye.
Bye.
Why are you late?
I'm talking.
Hey, Veritas in the house. What's up?
What is that? What's that noise? Money shot.
Roger.
What you doing, man?
It's Roger's mic is hot. How's it going, Veritas? Can you hear us?
Sorry, guys.
There you go.
No stress, man.
I got coffee.
He's in, but I don't know if he's got mic sorted yet.
We'll see now.
The Veritas is in?
He's
Yeah.
in, yeah, we just don't know if his mic's
Well, I think it's in because it says V.
yeah,
Likes to be here.
I'd say if it was Vicky, she might be pick up.
One, two. You guys hear me now?
There we go. What's up, man?
All right, sorry. I don't know why Restream defaulted all of my settings to weird shit. So real quick, let me just clarify that. So that last thing there, that wasn't me saying those things. That was me talking about the things that people say to me, right? I wasn't saying that my IQ was dropping. I wasn't right. Like
I was gathering you were giving 4 different arguments from what people see.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And also Sovereign Soul, when I included the 420 thing was a coincidence. But I actually thought
it was beautiful. I love it, man. I'm clipping it. I love it. I remember that show. Red's rhetoric could not use science or logic because every time I questioned his values in his equations and discovered that they were assumptions based off of an assumptive astronomical value, the astronomical unit. See, you have to use logic. You have to use logic. In the globe argument, the globe is the positive claim. It's awesome, diabolical, but awesome how something or someone was able to convince the majority of Earth's population of the antithesis of reality, just with no freaking evidence, nothing. Absolutely nothing, especially screaming science the whole time while they're totally going against the scientific method and what the laws of physics would dictate. The thing is, what I'm real curious about, Veritas, is this. Who was behind almost 8 hours of what looked to me like desperate damage control? Because this is going so viral right now, this flat Earth, that it seems like there's a desperate attempt. And I'm wondering who was behind, hey, you should make this video or whatever. Was this all just your idea?
Yeah, so wait, I'm trying to understand. You're saying damage control like
damage control due to the fact that flat Earth has gone explosive. It is exponentially growing, almost 770% since 2015. This is why we've seen an increase in their fake rockets, an increase in their space news coverage and all that. They're actually trying to do damage control. That's what that is. And I mean, this is like kind of excessive. I mean, look at that, 7 hours and 44 minutes. Really?
People are going into live NASA events and asking questions, and they're getting upset about it, bro. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I see it daily on my feeds from NASA when I go on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, but Facebook. There's people that are making comments about this is really ridiculous and fake. They say it constantly, and they question it.
Do I strike you, Veritas, as uneducated? Do I strike you as uneducated? Do I strike you as unintelligent, of a low IQ?
No.
And if so, well, then right there. I don't think
you
can
guys
say that about
what does that have to do with anything? I didn't say you had low IQ. I didn't.
I think you guys are reading.
You're painting a picture. You're painting a picture that all flat earthers are this way. That's the picture you're trying to paint.
I think you might be reading this wrong, because what I haven't, like I said, I haven't watched all of it, but what I'm seeing so far,
we haven't watched any of it yet.
He's trying to do, he's trying to give a argument from, like you said, the 4 arguments from what he hears from people. So I haven't got to a point yet where I've seen him actually, how can I say, attack us personally, kind of thing. But obviously, the thing said was attack on the flat Earth. That's how we read it. But I wouldn't. But like you said, it wasn't actually what you said, though. It's what you heard.
Well,
Is that what I'm
I'm
getting?
just wondering why there always has to be some degree of a derogatory connotation toward that. We don't hear anything about the morons that believe the earth is a globe or anything like that. We never hear that, but there's always some kind of a derogatory denotation involved anytime that someone who's going against flat earth, they use it. Even
Okay,
innocuous.
so let's be honest though. The debates between, like, I'm not in the globe debunker community. I came from outside of this. All right. I'm not, like, I've never been a part of this whole conversation, but as an outside observer, the conversations are literally two people insulting each other back and forth, thinking the other people are crazy and wrong.
Well, we eliminated that.
I think.
Go over
I
on
think
to Jaren. Go on to
No,
Jaren.
I mean, I disagree. I mean, listen, you can go and look on Flat Earth and Globe Earth, YouTube comments, debates, Twitter, everything. It's all insults back and forth. Everybody's dumb. Everybody's a moron. Everybody's a sheep. Everybody's fleeced. Everybody thinks that of everybody on every side. So I think it's not exactly fair to categorize this as like a one-way thing.
Agree with that. I have to actually agree with that.
I agree.
Because it has got to that point. It has got to that point, but you have to understand though also when it comes to if you've been in this thing for a while and you get a lot of anti-flat earthers, you do kind of have that language that you call them stupid and a clown and stuff. I mean, you get it. They can give it so they can receive it as well. But yeah, if you've watched my channel, we can have normal discussions and debates and not insult or call anybody idiotic or anything. I think when you actually have a chat with someone that you can see is genuine, then it's a different story. But as soon as we have a debate, for instance, like FTFE or McToon and them, we've had, how can I put it, been set for them to see them be dishonest. That's why we are in that ground.
Here's the deal. You guys have all had enough debates back and forth that what you guys are doing on all sides is pageantry for it's entertainment for your side. Obviously. None of you like Flatsode. I was watching one of your debates recently, and the moment you let I don't remember if it was MC Toon or FTFE or whoever, but the moment they started talking, you just toned out. Like you weren't listening, and I find that so much of it.
I always listen. I disagree. I always listen in the debate.
Well, but
that's why I'm always able to lead them to a discussion because I'm able to read them. That means I have to listen to do that.
What the problem I see in these discussions is it has to do with willingness to engage in actual meaningful real conversation. And what I find is that, and it's on every side of it. Like let's be honest, it's on every side of it. Now, granted, I happen to obviously be on one side. I sway the other direction. But as an outside observer, I find that the most frustrating thing is the intellectual dishonesty that comes down to answering like very simple, very basic questions, changing the subject. Like those things are very frustrating from the outside. So like, for example, when me and you were talking on Discord, Flatzoid, and I asked you like let me pull it up. I asked you like a really specific question having to do with what was it? Having to do with like the right, you said the pressure gradient comes after the gas pressure and gas pressure requires a container. So, and I asked you, so we have a gradient of pressure between sea level and 2 kilometers, right? There's a pressure gradient without a container. Why can't we have a gradient between what I wrote was 99 kilometers and 101 kilometers, right? Just an arbitrary line there. Why can't we have a gradient there, right? Like,
because I answered. My answer was specifically because it's based on separate systems. Because space and Earth are 2 separate systems. So,
but that's not an answer though. That's not an answer.
Because you saying we need to have containment. Because you saying we need to have containment.
No,
to have
I'm not.
a separate in our separate. But that's what you're saying. You're saying why don't we then have a container in between every pressure gradient?
No, my point is that if you can have let's just say, and I'm going to simplify this, right? And this is something that I think is important for these conversations that can like never happen. Being able to engage with like a simple hypothetical, just so that you can get on the same page. So let's say space is 1 pressure and sea level is 10.
Yeah.
Why? You agree that there's no container needed to get from 10 to 9 or from 9 to 8. So then why is it going from 2 to 1 suddenly is different?
No. That's not what I said.
It doesn't do that.
The thing is, the pressure gradient, you can't have the pressure gradient because you need the gas. Okay? And that's our argument. To have the gas, you need the containment first. So it needs to be in a contained system. According to the globe, we don't have a contained system. So with the second law of thermodynamics, you will have entropy increase, and therefore the air that we breathe will go into space. It will literally just fill the space, and we wouldn't have air to breathe. The issue is what the globies do a lot is they would say, well, we have pressure gradients, and that's why we get frustrated. We're like, yeah, pressure gradients come after. It's a delta. Okay, you first need the container.
Even if that's true,
it is.
Okay, I didn't come here really to debate.
I know what you're talking about, V, and I can maybe explain it a little more for you. Okay, so I'm sure you've had experience in the water, in ocean, that kind of thing. Have you ever gone diving, or you know that as you go deeper in depth, you experience greater pressure, right? And that pressure that you feel is due to displacement upon your body. All right, your body is trying to displace a greater amount of fluid of the medium the deeper you go. Okay,
trying to displace a greater amount. What do you mean by that?
Because now you've got a greater amount above you and on all sides of you that you're trying to displace with your body, because that water wants to be where you are. Every medium wants to be where you are. Even the air wants to be where you are right now. But the fact that you're there displacing it forces that air to be out of the way. Okay. So now as you rise up from depth, going higher up into the water, you experience less pressure. Okay, because you're displacing less medium. Now we have other factors that are involved too, because above a certain altitude, we start losing one of the components of the gaseous mixture that we're used to down here, where all the gases are produced. Of course, it's going to be the densest amount. But then we lose water. First and foremost, we lose water vapor from the equation. And we start to lose some of the other ingredients into it based on their density and temperature gradient at those extreme altitudes. And everyone knows that if you cool a gas, the pressure of that gas becomes less. Now we're talking about a dynamic, huge system, but as Flatzoid had just pointed out, gradient has an antecedent of pressure, and gas pressure has the antecedent of containment. There has never been any proof, demonstration, or of air having a downward acceleration due to gravity. In order to have any volume of gas, it has to be contained, because gas has no specific shape, nor does it have any specific volume.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You have had this. You and probably everybody here has had this same exact conversation 8 billion times. What I'm wondering is why should I even bother trying to engage with this particular argument when you guys know it's not going to go any differently this time around?
Well, it's not for the person we're talking to. It's for the people that are watching it. You understand? So they can see the two sides of the argument and weigh it out for themselves. And if they see one side freaking out and calling you a retard because, oh, you don't trust science, you're a science denier, that starts because we've already had 4 years of finding out about trusting science, right? So people are actually questioning things and they're able to come to a conclusion themselves. I ain't trying to change McToon's mind or Craig's mind or Simon Dan. I already know what they are. They're out there from the man. The man has put them in place.
Yeah, just like he says, it's actually more for the people watching. So you can, because you get a lot of people that just watch on the sidelines and they've never heard the argument before, and if they get to see it, that's a different story. But that's what I say. I like we're having a conversation now. This is a nice conversation because you're not. It's
Can
not
I add
like
something right quick, guys?
Sorry.
Can I add something right quick? What would
go
help
ahead.
the argument? What would help the argument along is an actual concession that we actually have an antecedent to start with. That would push the argument along. We never get that. We're just wrong. Period.
They just go gravity. Ugh.
Yeah, and we go into your proof for gravity. Go ahead.
I'm trying. Can you see from the other side, right? I think it's
Yeah, it was
important
there.
to see the
But
other
all of
side,
us
right? The
used to
fact
be
that
there, V.
the fact that you just kind of laugh off gravity.
Yeah,
it's easy.
You're already not taking it seriously, right? So
well, what would be there about gravity that I should take serious? It's never been proven. Relative.
what does that mean, though?
What do you mean?
It's never been proven is not. It's
scientifically.
It's not a.
Let's put this way.
Here's the thing: the moment you prove something in science, it becomes unfalsifiable. In which case, it's pseudoscience.
Things drop.
Not
so
actually.
What?
No, that's actually false. The only thing you can prove in science is the hypothesis. You either prove the hypothesis or the null.
No.
You can't prove for a fact that is always going to be the case. You
But if
can
you
have
can't manipulate
you can have the same
gravity,
effect.
then how do you know?
Different. You can have the same effect with a different cause. So, I mean, you can have a cause and you can have effect, but your hypothesis is actually what you're proving. You're not proving for a fact that that's the only cause for that effect. But when it comes to gravity, it's never been science. There's never been an actual hypothesis for gravity. There has never been an actual experiment for gravity. There hasn't been anything other than just believe me.
I mean,
the problem is gravity's been pushed.
Flat. I mean, that is just so patently false.
Okay.
That's the reason. That's the reason why someone like me has come to the conclusion that it's like just not even worth having these discussions. That's why I basically said I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk to you about this stuff, because you are literally just denying.
No, that's not.
No.
You want to prove my point and actually bring up a scientific hypothesis for gravity, an experiment for gravity.
So I don't remember off the top of my head what your particular answer is to something like Cavendish.
There isn't.
You can deny. No, you can deny the conclusion. Okay, but you can't say it's never been done, because that's just a lie, my dude.
I'm going to tell you, but let me tell you this way: Cavendish is not an experiment. First of all, okay, they can call it experiment. It's not scientific.
Why is that?
You don't even know the independent variable for Cavendish in the first instance, and Cavendish only was created to calculate the Earth's density. It has absolutely nothing to do with gravity. The anti-flat earthers take it and use it for gravity. That's the issue. Now, like I said, the gravity itself.
You realize that. Never mind.
But I understand. But I'm saying we've been in this arena long enough to know what's going on, and I can guarantee you can't.
No, I know, and that's why. Then that's why I don't think it's.
Yeah.
Why someone like me is just. How do I put this? Because I'm not trying to like defend folks like FTFE or MC Toon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to defend the people who are on the other side in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because
I understand.
There's really like 4 different groups here, right? There's like the debater content creators on either side, and then there's the audiences on either side. And so I'm speaking from the globe side of the of the audience. And so I think you guys understanding
real quick, my man, just understand something. Everybody you see up here right now, we used to be sitting right in your chair. We were right where you are right now.
Yeah,
trying to reconcile. So really, trust me, it's like we know what the other side is. We were the other side.
But I mean, I don't agree that you were. You might not have been a flat earther, But
no, I was a NASA fanboy. I couldn't wait for commercial space travel. I was so geeked out about going to different planets when they landed Viking back in 1976 on Mars and
but that
sent
doesn't
back
mean.
the
So here's the
pictures.
thing. That doesn't
I was
mean
geeked, and I
that doesn't mean
understood
that
how.
you understand the
Yes,
science.
you didn't let me finish. I was a great fan of science and science fiction writers such as Isaac Asimov, and all the things that are involved with it. Stephen Hawking. I tried to wade my way through A Brief History of Time, but it got too convoluted for me, even. But I was there, man, and then I had to question the basics. It's at the basics that they gloss over when you're 5 years old that you never go back and question.
So what's a scientific theory? Can you tell me what a scientific theory is?
Are you asking me?
Give them a theory.
Whoever, anybody.
A scientific theory is a theory based on facts that are scientifically verifiable. The problem with what they call scientific theories is that these scientific theories that they've put together that are loosely connected to scientific facts added in with pseudoscience, they claim it as like a scientific theory, and then they start using it as a fact.
See, the problem is scientific theory can't come until it's been under scrutiny of going through the scientific method. And the thing is, gravity hasn't gone through the scientific method to make it a scientific theory. They just automatically assume it to be scientific. But that's why I specifically ask for a hypothesis for gravity. Until this day.
So I want to make it clear that I'm not interested in debating the specifics. I actually think it's more interesting if we talk about the meta conversation. And what I find just really interesting is none of you guys and pretty much nobody in the audience and myself, none of us are physicists. So what I find fascinating is that non-physicists are basically saying that all the physicists just have no idea what they're doing, or they're lying, or they're dishonest, or they're wrong, or they're duped. And
can I add one thing right quick?
Wild. It's wild to me.
Can I add one thing? If we have unhinged one of their keystone experiments to be proven to be false, wouldn't it put most of their premise on the back foot? In other words, basically, if they're making this stuff up and they're making a fairy tale and trying to make it into actual science, it's invalid in my book. That's the way I look at it.
Now, here's the thing. I would agree with you, but one caveat in that if you were to do that, it would exist in the realm of the scientific community. Publish a paper. But I know that you guys don't believe that you believe there's a conspiracy against the worldview that would prevent that from happening. That's what the comments in my video say. You could never publish. I could never publish it. The moment you mention flat Earth, nobody will take you seriously.
When it comes to publishing, it is just a how can I put it? Money. It's all about money today, and it's being shown that way. I mean, you've actually got papers written about this where the publishing chooses what's going to give them the more money. They don't really go for what is actual true. I mean, how many people have tried to write papers and it just doesn't even get seen because they don't think it's going to give them money. They don't do publishing.
I don't know. Do you have a number for that?
Well, here's the thing that I want to break another one of your misconceptions that you led right off on. None of you are physicists. So what is a physicist? Is it someone who's obtained a piece of paper? Okay, let me put a scenario in front of you. What if one were to study physics, conduct experiments, and never go take an exam or anything else like that? What if he were to do that? Is he a physicist as well? Of course he is. You don't need the wizard's permission. You understand? Credentials
I don't disagree with you.
Credentials do not define a person. We've talked to PhDs that are retarded. I have literally talked to physics.
Listen, you don't have to go any further. I'm in agreement. All right. Some of the best engineers that I worked with I'm a software guy, were people that went to 3-month coding boot camps. They didn't get a degree, and they were some of the best, most intelligent, talented engineers that I worked with. They didn't spend, $100,000 in 3 years getting a degree. So again, I'm with you there. But the difference is that going on YouTube and on Rumble and watching for 3 or 4 years and watching miscellaneous videos about whatever does not a physicist make, right?
No.
Like, and
That's not where I learned physics.
There's a really interesting video that I just watched that doesn't have anything to do with flat Earth, but it has to do with basically like crackpot scientists sending emails to physicists like, I've got a theory of everything, why don't you take me seriously, whatever, okay. And one of the interesting things that was brought up in the video was that the people who were purporting to to overthrow the establishment, they aren't even remotely close to even speaking the same language. Like, they don't understand the math, they don't understand the basic concepts. It's the equivalent of showing up to Gordon Ramsay's kitchen and saying, I am going to overthrow the culinary world, and then putting Play-Doh down in front of people on a plate. That's kind of what
I know where you're going with that. It's kind of like this standing on the shoulders of giants. I dig that. But here's the problem. We found out that some of those giants way down by the base were dancing clowns and were not giants to begin with. And they've begun to start dancing, and the tower is collapsing. Just because you don't hear about any published physicists saying that doesn't mean that there's not. Okay, we just saw a video recently of a PhD geophysicist in South America who has come to the idea, he was challenged about flat Earth, and he has come to the belief and the realization that we are not on a globe, that it is physically impossible for that.
Well, so is that compelling to you? If
yes.
Like, let's say a physicist hears arguments and has their mind changed to their flat, right? Is that to you compelling? It's
inspiring because
I've
already disregarded academics. Academics are academics. Intelligent people are completely different things.
Well, can academics not be intelligent?
No, because they're programmed. They regurgitate the shit that they've been fed.
Well, there we go.
Don't expand upon it. They can't
that right there. That right there, though, is why. It's how do you talk to people who just assert that someone who is educated has to be programmed? And you disregard them.
If you find yourself educated and you want to talk, I don't give a shit, but don't tout your degrees. They mean nothing to me. Okay? I will deal with science, logic, and reason. Degrees mean nothing to me. It's a piece of paper.
Sure.
And if you pay enough money, you get one.
But no one said anything about degrees until you brought up this PhD physicist guy who now thinks the Earth is flat. Like, you brought that up.
Yeah, I was just saying that it's not your claim that all these physicists believe that the Earth is a globe and shit. It's not true.
That wasn't my claim.
Well, let's just look at it this way, guys. If you go and study something, okay, you actually just learning specified in that area. Okay, you learn what's written in the books and things. I know, even based on my personal experience, I know a lot of people that have PhDs and stuff. They say the experience is totally different to what you actually learn. You would agree with that? So what you learn in university or college isn't the same as what you actually do in the actual field.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So 98% of what I did as an engineer on a daily basis was shit that I learned on the job.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the money I spent on my degree was for a piece of paper to have people take me seriously to get me hired. Trust me, I get it. But I wasn't being programmed. It was like,
I wouldn't say you programmed though.
My degree was like some propaganda to get me to believe some fake narrative or whatever.
No, obviously not.
It's like,
but you learned that.
Far.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. You learned in school. Let's say you went to university and you studied orbital mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what you studied. Now that entails you need space, you need orbits and everything. Why would you need to study that if it wasn't real, you see. So your mindset is, okay, yeah, I studied orbital mechanics. I am able to now mathematically deduce this is the point of entry, this is the point of end, this is how fast I need the velocity to go to get out of Earth's orbit. That doesn't make it true. That just means you just studied. You just studied that. Most of the people that do orbital
but
mechanics
it also
today is
doesn't
just
make
based
it
on
untrue.
mathematics and simulations. But that doesn't mean anybody else doesn't know what's going on there just because they didn't study it.
No, but okay, let me put it to you this way. What an actual physicist can do is, and this is like basic undergrad physics stuff, right? Is, let's say I have a ball with this mass on a trebuchet that has this much potential energy in an atmosphere that has this much air pressure, and you launch a ball and it gets hit in the midair. Very basic equations to calculate what the end result is, right?
Mm-hmm.
None of you guys know how to do that. I don't know how to do it.
It's the same without assumed gravity. It's the same without assumed gravity.
It doesn't matter whether gravity is real or not. It's irrelevant.
Well,
listen to the point I'm trying to make.
Not really, because if you take a fundamental property that you're treating as an actual thing and it's not real, and then ascribing it to objects that you look through at a telescope and shit, and claiming that that's the reason that that's happening, and you start using it as a duct tape for every physical impossibility that is posed to you. I mean, what I'm saying is, like, if you're in school and they tell you,
you just changed the subject like 2 degrees away from my point.
Okay,
Can
I
we
get
go
back?
Can we go back real quick? Okay, let me ask you this. If, let's say there's a competition, right, between person A in a room and person B, okay? Mm-hmm. And let's say I set up this little trebuchet super simple physics experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have a flat earther and someone who just graduated with a degree in physics.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is more likely to be able to tell you where the ball is going to land on the ground?
Can we have a flat earther that's have a PhD in physics? Because we have those.
You're not
as
answering
well.
my question.
Well, wait a second. Why would they not be able to? Why would they not be able to?
It's a really basic question.
Math. It's just math.
Well, let's put it this way. It depends.
It's just math. But here's the thing. It's just math, but it's the ability to make accurate predictions.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. When the scientist can go and say it's going to land here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And someone says they don't know what they're talking about. One of the variables in their equation is nonsense. It's just duct tape, blah, blah, blah. And then they launch the ball and it lands exactly where they say.
Okay.
And you did nothing. Well, you didn't participate.
Yeah, wait. All you had
to calculate or predict anything.
All you had to do.
Why is that not compelling?
Because here you kind of strawmanned it in the first place. Nobody has said that. What we've said about their variable, and I think that you didn't really get the point when you heard that argument, is that where they use a variable g for gravity, which assumes a cause for the effect, we can merely use, you can merely, yes, it does, because it's just a rate of fall. Okay. It's 9.8 meters per second squared. So all I have to do is say, well, why not just A for acceleration? Because that's what we're measuring anyway. Okay.
Sure, let's make it A.
Cause and effect can never be the same thing.
Let's make it A.
But can I just
you guys, okay. Again, I want to go back to my original point.
I want to get my point out from what you said, because you've reiterated like 3 times already. The point is, if you take 2 people, obviously the one that studied the maths in that is going to be able to do the maths for that. But not everybody has, how can I put it? Some people are better at some things than others. Like
Agreed.
I'm good at art. And
but physics is math.
Else is good at woodworking, for instance, okay? But now when it comes to physics, you can do equations. It doesn't mean just because I can't do the equation because I'm not that brilliant at maths, doesn't mean I don't have to understand the mechanics behind what's being going on.
No. Actually, I need to push back on that. Physics is math. If you don't know math, you don't know physics. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is.
Do you agree that do you think that there are different physics for flat Earth than there is for the globe? Do you think that physics changes due to what you think the condition of your realm is? Is that suddenly going to change physics?
You see, the thing is, mathematics just describes. It doesn't. It's a language, okay? It
Right.
explains, it describes the physics. Physics doesn't change if you can do maths or not.
But
Just because someone can work out based on maths doesn't make. Let's say I put G into the equation. Doesn't make gravity real. That's my whole point.
Let's try to talk a little bit more abstractly, because I don't want to debate gravity. Like I said, I don't want to debate the specifics because that stuff's all been beaten to death. The fact of the matter is that one model can make predictions that turn out to be true, and the other model doesn't do anything except use words to say what things are.
Okay,
but it doesn't make predictions, so it's not science.
What predictions are you talking about?
Literally anything.
Give us an example.
Catapulting a ball bearing across.
That's got nothing to do with the globe or anything. That's just actual.
No, but that's physics. Again,
we're talking two models.
Nothing to do with the globe. It's got nothing to do with the globe or a flat Earth. That's just physics.
But we're talking about the most basic physics. The most basic physics.
Yeah.
Physics is physics. The only thing we disagree with is where you guys put G for the acceleration and call it gravity. Because you guys are claiming the cause for acceleration is gravity. So you're saying gravity is acceleration and the cause for that acceleration is gravity. So gravity causes gravity. We disagree with that because gravity hasn't been shown to be valid in the first instance. Where we can say, okay, we see something falling at 9.8 meters per second. That's fine. We can measure it. It's fine. We don't agree that it's gravity because gravity hasn't held up to scrutiny. Nobody even knows what gravity is in the first instance. So how can you explain it is gravity?
My point is that what you're talking about, okay? You when you point to wanting to disagree with gravity, you're like 70% of the way along this spectrum where you haven't gotten to 2% yet. Right? We're again.
But I don't understand because, like I'm saying, they can say it's gravity. First, prove it's gravity before telling us it's gravity. That's my whole point.
No, well, if you can just say that, and I can say, prove you can do basic algebra before you want to tell.
It's nothing to do with my argument at all.
It'd be like asking, can you do brain surgery? I mean, what does that got to do with it?
Well, no, but imagine if I went in and started telling a brain surgeon that they're using the wrong tool, that they need to use this thing when I don't even know the basics about medicine.
Why would I do that?
Right.
I don't know what cells are, what a scalpel is. I don't know.
Totally confused. I think you're totally confused. The physics still are the same, okay? We understand the physics still works. Our problem is when you take that equation, you stick G into it and say G is the cause for that acceleration. We're simply saying there is no proof that G is due to gravity. That acceleration can be explained. We can use it using relative density disequilibrium if we wanted to. That's exactly, we can use it as pink unicorns. It's just a name given to the acceleration. The problem comes when you say it's gravity causing that, and then we go back to gravity. What is gravity? What does Neil deGrasse Tyson say? Oh, we don't know. We just know it's effects, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Who cares? Why are you guys so obsessed with Neil deGrasse Tyson? Because we're not.
We just think he's a comedian.
Hold on, wait a second. What do you mean we are not? You just said you weren't on a side or anything. What do you mean we?
Well, no, I said I was. I said I represented the Globe Observer audience. So when you guys say you're all sheep, you're talking about me. So when you say you're NASA fanboys, you love Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's your Globe priest. You're talking about nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
we're talking about doesn't exist.
And just go ahead and treat it that way and go and move on.
I think you agree with us though when it comes to Neil deGrasse Tyson. A lot of people from the Globe side, especially ones that like the FTFEs and the anti-flaggers, they don't like him because that's why we call him a priest, because he preaches the Globe religion as it is. He doesn't care what the people think. But when you come to the anti-flat earth side, they can't agree with him because it debunks their own argument. And they're supposed to be on the same side. You see, that's the issue.
Well, I mean, you can watch. I talk about what I think your obsession with Neil deGrasse Tyson is. It's in the
I'm not
documentary. You may or may not get there. It's probably.
I think
frozen.
maybe you should
I just think
probably
he's a comedian.
spend a little more time with us and actually find out what we're all about instead of believing the propaganda by people like McToon and these other
That's
out there.
unfair bullshit. I watched 1,000 hours of your guys' debates. The debates are, it's not like there's narration going on. I'm an outside observer watching these discussions. So don't tell me that's propaganda just because it's on one person's channel.
But would you say you watch those debates coming in with a bias?
Absolutely. 100%.
Well, there you go.
Imagine you were walking down the street and you saw a debate between people who thought something that you I don't know. Is there something that you think that isn't like controversial science that you think is
all right? Let me
crazy?
just
Like,
ask
do
you-
you believe we live in a simulation, or I don't know? I'm trying to think of something.
Definitely not.
Simulation is
So
example. Use
imagine
that.
it was
Can I
somebody
ask you
saying
just a
we
real
lived in the
basic-
Matrix.
Can I
No,
ask
imagine
you a real basic
No,
question?
let me finish. Let me finish this up, please.
It's real
Let him
simple.
finish
It's
quickly.
real
Let him
simple.
finish quickly. Let him finish quickly. He was making a point about simulation.
Imagine you're walking down the road and you see a debate between something you find ridiculous and something that you think is reasonable. Are you going to be unbiased? No.
Yeah. Yeah. Why
Well, you
must I
can be
biased about it?
impartial, but
Just
you're
because I don't agree with something doesn't mean I have to be biased about it.
well. There's a difference between bias and between like I have an open mind. I'm open to evidence and argument and logic and reason. But
Yeah, but
my
here's the
point is,
when
you
I
say
asked you, do you come in it with a bias and you said yes, then that means you've already made up your mind. That's not.
I've made up my mind, but it's tentative.
open.
It's always tentative. So,
Okay, then it's
are
not an
you
open mind
you're
then.
right on the fence whether the Earth is flat or not? You're just right on the fence.
No, I know it's flat, but that doesn't
Okay.
make me biased towards getting globe evidence. You see, the issue is.
Well, no, but that's
that,
not what I said.
Like
though.
I said, when you go and you watch the debates,
Now
you've
you
already made
changed
up
what
your
bias
mind.
means.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Let me-
do.
You said you liked logic and reason.
Mhm.
Now, outside of being told that you live on a globular Earth rolling around through a solar system, what in your daily experiences and or observations that you make on a daily basis throughout your life would lead you to the conclusion that you must be on a ball that is rotating through a solar system? Where would that idea come to you from?
I don't.
Crickets.
Nowhere. You
Cricket.
had to
I'm
be
trying.
told. Now,
I'm trying.
how
Guys,
old
I'm trying
were
to
you?
figure out. I'm trying to figure out, like, if this conversation is worth having, because every time I'm trying to like nail down any individual point, right? And and the conversation just keeps kind of shifting. And I think that the only way that you can have a conversation is if you can agree on a thing and then sort of like try to build off of an agreed foundation, right?
That's where I'm trying to take you, V, is I want to know, because if you don't have any experiences or observations, my next question, and I always ask people this, I always ask them this, and I ask them next, then when were you first told this idea that you lived on a globe?
Okay, let me ask you this. In your day-to-day life, what gives you the impression that there are these tiny microscopic things that can get inside of your body and make you sick?
There isn't.
There isn't. That's why we don't buy it.
Are there molds, funguses, and bacteria that can cause a dis-ease to my physical well-being? Absolutely. Are there things called viruses floating around in the air looking for a lung to propagate in? No, it's never been. Go look for a picture of a virus. You won't see one. You'll see a biophage, but you won't be able to find a picture of a virus anywhere. Go Google it all you want. But right back to my original question.
Yeah,
How old
unfortunately, we can't talk
were
about
you
that
when
stuff.
you first told this?
I don't understand how you guys can function thinking that like massive, like literally millions of people who do this stuff on a daily basis are either lying or clueless.
What stuff? What stuff?
Biologists and physicists. You just think they're either lying or clueless?
Not about everything.
In order for what you to believe to be true, then they would have to be.
No.
Okay,
Nope.
so wait.
Nope.
to take it
That's
back
just
from
baseless, man.
millions, We'll take it back from millions.
Well,
Okay.
well, let's put it this
Let's
way.
specify which kind.
And just
of
let you guys know, I don't
which
have very much
kind of
longer.
physicists
Okay.
and what kind of physicians? Because there are specialized fields, aren't there?
Let's just let's just put it this way. Maybe let's say you have an actor, and the actor's job is playing a doctor in a sitcom. Okay, he's just acting as a doctor. He gets paid to be an actor. Does that now make him not an actor just because he's playing a doctor?
What?
Or
Wait.
does it make him a liar? I'm trying to say. Does it make him a liar because he's not really a doctor, but he's acting as a doctor?
Sorry, you
He's
kind
just
of
doing-
lost
He's
me.
doing his job. He's just doing his job. He's getting paid for his job.
You're playing a doctor.
Great. So let's put it this way. If let's say the moon landings, when you looked at the Indian moon landing, Chandra, whatever, how fake was that? Okay. They were looking at simulations.
Well, okay, wait. You don't think that was video, right?
That was simulation. I can draw better stuff.
No, I know, but you don't.
It was Atari 2600.
Whoa, wait. Okay, I need to take a step back because what I want to know is whether do you think that what they were showing, that they were trying to portray that as real video?
You see, that's my point. They make it seem as if they just show them simulations and they just show them data. They don't actually see what's going on. So they believe it's to be true. It's not actually there. You guys haven't even shown how you can violate the second law of thermodynamics yet.
Wait a minute. I need to understand this point. Are you saying, do you think that they were trying to pass that off as video, or are you talking about?
They gave it as live footage. Did you not know that?
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. They even had the people clapping and cheering as they landed with the
I'm talking about when they showed the actual the image of the lander.
You do know you can't do that in the studio.
No, okay, you're not understanding the question. There's the imagery where you can see like the moon, and then there's like the Indian like moon lander, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that what was shown was it was purported to be video? Like,
to those people it was real. To millions of Indians it was real.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
You know that. Do you know how much people actually
Space
saw that
Invader
and they
looking
thought it
thing
was
was
real? Do you not know that?
I can't tell if we're having a miscommunication or if
No, there's no miscommunication. They passed it out to a lot of millions of people, thought what they were seeing was real.
so when you say it was real, are you talking about like that they were landing? No.
Wow.
Jesus, this is like a who's on first, what's on second kind of thing. So I'm just trying to make sure we're on the same page here. This is literally, do you know that who's on first bit?
Yeah, oh yeah. Me and my brother did it for a skit.
Okay, I don't know if that's like an American thing. If
Yeah,
Flats
I
already
don't
used
know.
a million.
You Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. The guy says, "Yeah," he says, "I like baseball." He says, "They got really cool, weird names these days, like who's on first?" And he goes, "I don't know who's on first." And he goes, "Yeah, exactly." Because the guy's name is Who.
The guy's name is
Yeah,
Who's.
yeah, all these people's
the
names
two
are like
people
what?
are talking,
and
and they're confused about what each other's talking about, right? So I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying to figure out if like we are confused. So
maybe.
So okay. So there's two different things that we can talk about here. There's the whether or not they were landing a craft on the moon, whether that was real or not is one thing over here. And then whether or not the visual they were showing on television or live streamed or whatever, right? Whether or not that visual was real or was claimed to be real. Which one are you talking about?
They didn't claim it to be real, but people saw it as real. That's the whole point. People see that.
I don't
even
think
though
any,
it's,
maybe
don't have to
7-year-olds
claim
thought it
it.
was real. No one thought that was
No,
real.
like adults.
Wow.
Adults
No,
saw that and
adults.
thought, "That's proof they did it."
Did you watch
Okay,
the
so
live
then
stream?
they're idiots. But like that
Yeah,
wasn't.
they are
thousands of
idiots.
people.
Yeah, people that believe in this shit are idiots. Exactly.
No,
I agree strongly.
What you're talking about is we're talking about, again, different things. Do you think that like most Globers fell for that? Like,
Yeah.
everybody was.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
listen,
fall.
I don't know what.
They fall for a
Do you
lot of
have-
dumb shit.
Okay. I mean, I don't.
Let's look at- Have you ever gone on one of these NASA live streams before? B while they're live.
Or like SpaceX.
Yeah, and
Any of
live
them.
chats full, like literally the average person is a moron, and that includes flat earthers and non-flat earthers. So
But
I don't
my
care what the
point is-
masses are spamming in a live chat.
But the point is, those people in the live chats, do they believe it to be real? Even if they're morons or not, that's besides the question. Do they believe it to be real?
Mm-hmm.
To believe what? Are we talking about the Indian thing again? Or are we talking about NASA?
Anything, just
Any of
live-
it. Holy shit. Answer the question.
I mean, holy shit! Answer the question. You just brought up now NASA. Yeah, I would say that you. So you think it's fake? Because you can
Not
go
think
and
we
watch them
know.
live.
You
So
can't
what's-
go to space. It's
There's no space,
Yeah, but we're not-
dude.
yeah, but that's different. That's different. When you say it's fake, so then like when you go and watch a rocket launch in person, do you think
that's real?
Okay, so that's real. Okay.
It's a show. Obviously, have you ever been to an air show before?
Yeah, I have.
They're not going to space, man. That's our point. They're not going to this vacuum.
There's definitely such things as rocket launches.
Listen,
But
I
you don't go
want to
to-
reiterate that like getting into the specifics, I don't think there's any point, and we also don't
Oh,
have the
there is.
time.
It's the crux of the whole thing.
Well, no, debate that with MC Toon or whatever. Like,
No, we're here to speak to you.
so in the next 13 minutes, we're going to get to the bottom of NASA and whether or not you can get to space and thermodynamics, and you
We
think
already
that's
have got
truthful?
to the bottom of it. You can't.
Yeah.
It violates the second law of thermodynamics.
If
It
you want to
violates-
present us,
and all the
if you want to
physicists in the
present us a
world, all the
demonstration, go
engineers,
ahead.
everybody, I
Right?
get it. They're all either liars or they're delusional.
No, that's not what we believe. Stop misrepresenting us. We don't believe everyone is a liar. We're just saying that your position is false. That's it. We don't need to think you're lying.
Think about this, V. You got, like you see, always see they show the control room, right? How could all those people be lying, right? Now, let's not forget that for months before this, these people trained in simulation on those very machines that they're using right there. All the stuff that they're looking at, they trained on simulation. The only thing different this time is they said, no, this isn't a simulation. This is real time. Do
Yeah,
they
so they're-
have
I
any
get it.
real?
You think
are
you
they
think they're duped. I
listen,
get it.
You see what I'm getting at? So they
I
don't
get it.
have to
I know
really
what
be
you
in on
think.
it. They don't have to be in on it. How would they know? I mean, we had the famous LIGO experiment to prove gravity, and then they admitted that they inserted data. You know, the people reading the machines didn't know that that was a simulation at all. Yeah. So I'm just saying, it doesn't take everybody to lie, only a few at the top. Have you ever seen a movie called Capricorn 1? Came out in 1977.
Wow.
Watch it. It'll
What a
open your
telling
eyes up
movie.
to some shit.
What a telling movie that is, Sov, isn't it?
Yep. I'm surprised they let it out.
I know.
I am.
I know. The only thing that was different between that and the moon landing was the location. That's it. That it was meant to be a Mars expedition.
Can I ask you something? So you know how I assume you guys are friendly with Dearth?
Not really.
Okay, so
I've never met the guy.
I'm curious, like, what you guys think about when he shows like the two pictures of Mars and like Greenland, right? He does this whole little spiel.
You
How
mean
do
Mars
guys
and
feel-
Devon Island, right?
How do you
Mars
guys
and Devon
feel-
Island.
How do you guys feel when he's just openly like lying about that?
I've never seen a clip of him doing that, but he might have been done.
Well, I mean, I show at least two in the video where he's.
Well, we're still gonna go
All
through
right.
the videos.
Well, I mean, like if he's lying, then that's bad. Sure.
Yeah, it's demonstrable, and he's known that for a decade, right? So one of the things I hear very often is like why would they lie about X if this was true, right? Why would they have to lie? Shouldn't that like kind of, discredit the whole thing? Why would someone like Dearth have to go around perpetuating obvious false
We
lies?
can't define one's motives.
There's
You'll have to ask him.
No
do
clue.
you condemn that?
There's definitely
Obviously, a liar's bad. Yeah.
People like me would take you guys more seriously if obvious things like that you guys called out.
Not everybody.
If you know me,
not all flat earthers we agree with. There's definitely people out there.
if you know my
right
channel,
side.
I've called out a lot of flat earthers in the past as well on stuff. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's admirable, right? Because
No.
when
Oh,
globe
that's admirable. Yeah.
debunk or sorry, globers, whatever you want to call them, right? When they get something wrong, then everybody should hold them accountable. I'm sure, I promise you, I probably made a couple of mistakes. Probably have a couple of errors in my video. I'm not perfect, Nobody's going to be able to.
You're gonna make errors though. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, so, and here's the thing: if somebody actually can like show me where I was wrong and demonstrate with evidence, that I will be the first one to say you're absolutely right. My bad. Now with these debates and these discussions, when you guys know, like sometimes if someone slips up a little bit, as a debater, you want to jump on it. You want to pounce, right?
You have to, yeah.
That makes it very hard. I know as like someone I'm not really a debater or interested in debating, right? I watch that and I know, I see that they want to pounce on like a little mistake, which is like kind of the pageantry to make it look like you just want a point, right? And both sides do this for the other person to make it seem like you want a point, right? They made a mistake, you got them. But then of course they have to get defensive and then they'll double down. And then what ends up happening is on both sides, you just end up with someone makes a little mistake and the other side almost never has like the grace to say, oh, okay, you're going to correct yourself? Cool. I won't hold it against you, right? And just like move on.
I think that's part of the debate setting, though. I think that's just part of it because when you're in a debate and you're in that zone, you are in the mindset of, I'm going to call you out on this kind of thing. So it's not giving a person grace because that's not how debates really work.
Yeah.
So I think it's got to go on the mindset of a thing. But that's why I say I would rather have a discussion with someone that's honest or something. I mean, we've had debates in here with debates with like honest people before. Scott Gorg is one of the guys and other people. And we concede when shown wrong. He concedes when wrong. And it's not the same environment as like the debates we have like with FTFE and McToon and stuff. Because when you're in that debate, you're in like a mindset of attack, attack, attack. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the things I worked with Jaron to develop a format that would eliminate something that we had all started noticing. And that is, like you said, where you want to jump in and make a point. Well, that's one thing, but strategic interruption is another. Okay. Strategic interruption. What do I mean by that? You go through a series of points, setting up your final point that you're going to make. They recognize that. And when you're about to make that point, that's when they start interrupting you about some minutia in your setup of it, or even with a random question that has nothing to do with what you were just talking about. So we eliminated that by having it. If I'm talking, you're muted. And if you're talking, I'm muted. And if you find it so necessary that you have to interrupt, you get 2 buzzers that gives you 10 seconds worth of interruption. But you don't get to start talking till the other guy finishes his point.
Yep.
See? So that worked. And this is the thing. If there was intellectual honesty, they wouldn't revert to these tactics.
Well, okay, wait a minute. Bro, you have to know. You have to know that you guys are guilty of just as many of the things that you're accusing them of, right?
Really? Show that. Where?
I've got 8 hours of documentary you guys can watch when I leave. But I'm so you actually think that these debates are like totally lopsided, intellectual dishonest on the Globe side, right? Like, I guess you have to, right? You have to believe
Not always,
go
but when
both
it
ways.
comes to these
It can go both
professional
ways.
globe trolls, they're always weird. They always have some kind of a weirdness about them, whether they paint their nails black or they dress up like a woman or whatever, or if they have they act like adolescents. I mean, they're really, really weird people to begin with. But these globe haters, right? That's a different story altogether. Or these flat Earth haters, they're a totally different story altogether. They are intellectually dishonest, and we catch them lying all the time. We point it out, and they never concede to it.
I mean, the thing is that I can just say, yeah, but you too.
I don't do that. My belief is this: is if you have to lie to make a point, you don't have a fucking point.
Okay, we can make a point. Okay,
But you don't think that I could? You don't. So I think I do an okay job of pointing out quite a few clear and demonstrable lies on the flat Earth side in my video. I'm sure that you guys will disagree on, like, I go through and I talk about gravity. I go through and I talk about. I'm sure that you guys will disagree with all of that, and that's totally fine. The thesis at the end of my video is, well, multiple parts, but one of the things is that I think it's important to not forget that we're all like humans, right? These conversations would go differently if I was sitting across the couch from you with a beer.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that there's webcams between us,
like
it changes the whole dynamic. Yeah. And it makes it so that no one has any respect for each other. No one takes anyone seriously. And it's a massive dehumanizing clusterfuck that it's just a train wreck. And part of why I made this is because as an outside observer watching this stuff, it's Schadenfreude, right? I'm watching a slow motion car crash. And I think it's good for us, right? Because it's entertaining and it's funny as hell. But at the same time, it's not good for you guys, because you guys have a belief that you hold strongly and that you think is very important, and you have a message, right? Mm-hmm. You guys have a big responsibility, because if what you guys are saying is true, it's the most important thing in the world. Mm-hmm. It's the most important thing in the world.
We know that.
Yeah, but you know that, but like someone like Dearth or like Witsit or whatever won't get an all expense paid trip to Antarctica because, whatever, right? Like there's so many things there that's like, that, but.
Well, here's the thing, B. I'm not cheering the flat Earth. I'm not going to make up shit to make the Earth appear to be flat or anything else like that. My whole thing is this: I am only for truth. When I visited Monticello, a quote by Thomas Jefferson, I went ahead and repeated it, and I took this oath to myself in front of God, that I declare eternal war against all forms of tyranny of the minds of men. And this, my friend, is a form of tyranny. There's something involved that can convince, without any proof and against all logic and science, that you live on a spinning ball. Think about what's involved. That's not people doing that. That's something above people that would be able to convince and deceive mankind in that magnitude.
I get it. And so what the conclusion that I came to after my time as a outside third party observer, the conclusion I came to, and I understand you guys will reject it and you'll probably find it laughable, and that's fine. But my conclusion is that that the flat earthers, the ones who call themselves free thinking truth seekers, are, as far as I can tell, based on the words and actions, seem to be the complete opposite. And it seems to me that, paradoxically, I know to you guys, but it seems like you guys act exactly how somebody who just listens to somebody, takes their word for it, doesn't double check, and have been programmed by memes like propaganda and all that stuff. Again, I know you guys don't believe it, and I'm not asking for you guys to, agree or whatever, because I know you're not. But I think it's important for you. I think it's important for you guys to know what you look like to someone like me, because if you want to change that, then you have to know thy enemy. And I'm
We're
being
already
honest,
changing
man
it.
to man. I'm being
We're
genuine.
already
That's the way
changing
it feels.
dude. We're already changing it. This is why there's been an exponential growth in it. This is why there's a desperation and damage control from the powers that be.
Well,
Why
so let me
in the
tell you
world
though,
do
you
think
called
that-
my
hold on, wait.
documentary
Why did you? Yeah, I think it's part
you
of that
called it
same
damage control.
Yeah.
I found it fascinating, and I decided to do it on my own. So the fact that you see a part of the conspiracy there, and I know the only person who knows, right? The only person who knows the truth about why I did it is me.
Mhm.
So the fact that you find it,
It fits in the pattern. It fits in the pattern.
Well,
it
yeah,
fits
and
right in the pattern.
I know, and that's what I'm saying is that you've been programmed to see the pattern everywhere.
No, I'm not
No, but
programmed.
wouldn't you
I'm just
say-
naturally able
You.
to see patterns. This is
To
why
you,
I've been
it
able
might
to uncover truth. I
Yeah.
can see patterns that most people can't.
And
I
so
mean,
you want to put
what
me
my
you want
scorecard is?
to put me as a member of the
10 out of 10.
conspiracy, and I
I'm
know
10
that's
out
not
of 10
true.
in all of my
Listen. To
shit.
you, it might not be a deception, but there's something higher than you. There's some that we believe. We know there's something satanic out there. The devil.
No, I agree, but that has nothing to do with, again, the particular claim of saying that there's some damage control behind why I did this.
Well,
That to
perhaps
me,
we're
that actually
genuine.
makes me feel good because it's a confirmation. That's evidence that my thesis is correct. In the same way that the top comment that I pinned, because it's a perfect demonstration, and I'm going to read it. It says, "Weird. No clips of Witsit, Jaren, or Bob, three of the most prolific contributors to the conversation. It's almost as if this entire video is one huge strawman fallacy. Yes, some flat earthers don't articulate their thoughts very well and make highly speculative statements, but there are others who know the scientific literature very well and can see flaws, blah, blah, blah. If FE is so dumb, why make an 8-hour hit piece against it that leaves out the brightest people in the movement? I have an entire chapter about Bob, an entire chapter about Witsit, and Jaren is in a bunch of different clips. So right there, he was programmed. He didn't watch it. He didn't do his own research. He jumped to the conclusion, and he copied the script. He sounds like a programmed robot, a sheep.
Right. But V, you would agree that you, especially because you was a pro season YouTube and stuff. You do have a lot of people just coming on and commenting what they want. You would agree with that. It doesn't make the person genuine. That one person doesn't signify the rest of Flat Earth. He's obviously just some fanboy for Witsit and Jaren and them, but that doesn't make the rest of Flat Earthers that way. Or
I can't say any blanket statements about that I would say has to be true about any individual. But what I can say is, just like you said, patterns. And there are lots of common patterns, and that's one of them. That's literally one of. There's a whole part of the documentary, right? And I say documentary, it's a long form video. There's just no better word for it, right? I don't take it that seriously. But there's a whole section there about how the moment someone says I'm a free thinker, to me sets off red flags that they're just gonna parrot. They're just gonna be reading off flashcards, and.
Cool. So you
and
judge
that right there is a perfect
But
demonstration.
you have to also understand where the Flat Earthers are coming from, though, because we've been getting a lot of mockumentaries and stuff specifically attacking Flat Earth. So the mindset of a Flat Earther is when something comes out and it's literally just attacking Flat Earth, you do see it as a hit piece because
and I think that's silly.
You said to see that as a hit piece.
But
It's
can you
like-
tell me what you mean by hit piece, though? Like, what do you mean?
An attempt to make Flat Earth look ridiculous.
To what end?
I don't know. Damage control. That's what I was getting at right there. Okay, so we've seen an exponential amount of space launches as this has grown. People that are trying to convince us that space is fake or space is real. Trying to, you're seeing a whole bunch of stuff going on to where and the more this grows, the more they increase it. And here's the bottom line. Hold on. Let me finish. How long could you build a channel if there was like 5 or 6 people or even just a group of people that said, I think that the sky is tartan plaid? How long do you think people would spend arguing with that? It comes down to a case of methinks the lady doth protest too much. This is why when I see a fact check sticker on any kind of a post or a community notes or any kind of bullshit like that, that tells me this is worth looking at.
So can I ask you a question? Because I actually have to go like very soon. If you saw, and I'm not trying to make this one-for-one comparison. This is just a metaphor, okay? We're talking abstractions here. If you saw a cult that you thought was going to end up drinking the Kool-Aid, right, with the cyanide in it, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to believe that what they're saying is true to want to either potentially help the people out of that dangerous situation or prevent people from going into it. That doesn't have to be like could it not just be that you see something as wrong and problematic and that by itself is worth addressing?
I think it's interesting that you would compare.
I literally prefaced it by
in
saying I'm not making
reality
that
to a
comparison.
dangerous cult. Okay. And there's a lot of people that think that this is dangerous for some reason. In fact, when the head of Google was in front of the Congress, and they were saying, what are you doing to combat these dangerous conspiracy theories? The first thing that came up out of her face was about flat Earth and how they're putting it at the bottom of the algorithm and putting authoritative content first. Okay? Why? People don't have their own minds. That doesn't make any sense. When you have to censor something, you don't
neither
prove
do flat
those people
earthers.
to be a liar. You prove that you are afraid of what they may say. Now, you notice there's nobody out there going, making channels on, against concave Earth or hollow Earth. You don't see it. You don't see it at all. But there are channels that are specifically dedicated, pushed to the top of the algorithm, actually given more views than they actually get to make them look like they're more popular. For what reason?
I call bullshit on that. I don't call bullshit on flat Earth content being suppressed. I talk about that in the video. 100% true. You guys are absolutely right. It sucks, especially for someone wanting to. I had to go to Rumble to get flat Earth content that I was looking for, which
Did you
sucks
ask
because
why? Did you wonder why that is? Why would they go through the effort to hide it?
Yeah, and the conclusion is not because the Earth is flat. It's because there's other problems. Again, you can watch the video. I don't have time. I really do have to bounce out of here. I appreciate talking to you guys. I actually think maybe we could do this again another time.
Yeah, it would be great. That's what I said.
Regardless of the shape of the Earth.
That's why I said we just have a discussion sometime, like when you got the time. Because I think we can have an ordinary discussion. I do think we might, because we're coming from two different views, and I can see you're not trying to be disingenuous. We're just trying to get to an understanding. So that's why I said it'll be interesting to just have an actual conversation with you sometime. But
yeah, and I really hope that you guys can. Again, you can disagree with all of the things, and I'm sure you will, and that's fine, right? With the whole thing, but I guess I would just ask to not assume that I'm coming from a place of some nefarious conspiracy, because really where I came from is this topic fascinated me from a scientific, sociological, and psychological perspective, and I thought it was worth talking about, and it was worth teaching myself a bunch of concepts. I didn't know a lot of the stuff that I taught myself, did my own research, right? I learned about a lot of this stuff. And I don't know, just don't, not every rustle in the brush is the tiger about to pounce, right? Sometimes it's just the wind.
Sometimes,
I'm just a dude.
Sometimes it's a snake.
Sure. Yeah. And here's the thing. If you want to start the conversation by assuming folks like me are all snakes, then you will never get taken seriously.
I don't.
And I want you guys.
That's not true. We get taken seriously all the time. Do you realize I've gained over 1,000 subscribers in less than 6 months, even though I'm suppressed and shadow banned? Isn't that amazing? I must be on to something. I'm on several panel shows asking my opinion on things regarding flat Earth and the physics involved with it. Flatzoid does the same thing. So that's not what you're getting at is not real, man.
I don't know what you think I was getting at, but
That it makes it look silly. That's
no, it's not that it makes it
objective.
look silly. It's
That's not objective. That's a subjective opinion.
Well, that's what I'm telling you, though, is if you guys want me to like come back and talk to you guys, if you tell me that you think I'm like a part of the conspiracy, then and like again, try to empathize. If I'm not, imagine a world where I'm not a part of the conspiracy.
Right.
When you tell me that I am, you're just crazy, and I'm not going to take you seriously, right?
Right.
So that's all I'm saying is that you need to think about.
Would I be wise to entertain the possibility, not a conclusion, but a possibility? Because we've seen what goes on, right? We already know what goes on. We know intelligence agencies are involved with trying to shut down Flat Earth. We know that there's a 77th J-Trig intelligence outfit that gets out there and poses as globers on the fucking internet every day. Now, my question again, why would there be such an effort to silence something that is, by claims of the Globers, absolutely ridiculous? Nobody would argue with me if I claimed the sky was tartan plaid. Or
There's an answer. There's an answer to your question. There's an answer to your question, and I don't think it's as nefarious as you think it is. But we'll leave it at that. Again, I appreciate you guys checking out the documentary. I hope we can talk, and I hope you guys will give me a little bit of a benefit of the doubt about where I'm coming from and why. But I hope you guys enjoy, and I appreciate the invite.
Shot, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it, man. Do you play PUBG or something?
I haven't in forever. I used to, but
I actually just recently put it on as well. It's like I haven't played it in ages. We should play if you do it sometime.
Yeah, right on, man. We'll do. Have a good one, guys.
Cheers, man. Thanks. Bye. So we're gonna have to do a part 2 then tomorrow night. Let's actually get through the actual.
I don't even think you got started. I did say that, didn't I? I did say like usually you get a minute into a video and sometimes that's it. That's it.
But I am happy he came on though.
Yeah.
Because it's good that he came on. I think it's interesting to see the both sides of it, I could say. Now I have to get all the super chats because people sent quite a few. So really, really do appreciate all the super chats. Let me just get them up and see where they are. But I do appreciate all the super chats. Thank you all for sending. Let's see. First one was from Tony Whitcomb for £5. Super J says, physicists talk about gas pressure needing a container in Yale and MIT debunking an open system of a globe. Veritas, take note. Yep. That is true. You did that was the way it is because when you actually look at physics, you can see it shows not as the globe pertains. The physicists understand you need containment. They just don't think of it that way that the globe needs it. Have you guys realized that? They're not challenged to think of it that way. Even when we were globies, we weren't challenged to think of it that way. When you challenge to think of it that way, then you have to see, okay, am I honest about it or not?
True.
The next one is Roger Little for $2 super chat says, going to work, have fun, and we can pretend. Thank you very much for your super chat, Roger. Really appreciate it. Awesome Town Matt for another $5 super chat. He says, V, have you watched her Mind Shocks video logic analysis, SOS, and PhD Brian Mayers versus Whitsett? All your arguments are logically fallacious today, by the way. Yeah, V, if you're watching this, maybe go and watch it. Mindshock does an awesome job. Definitely shout out to Mindshock. I still want Mindshock to do a analysis on Law Lodge and when he came to discuss with us.
Oh yeah,
that'd
be good. Definitely.
And then Retro Bull, thank you very much for your $5 super chat. He says physics is not math, just like dance, which depends on music. Itself's not music. That's why they have separate words. Duh. Exactly. That's what I was trying to explain to him. Just because you have maths in physics doesn't make it physics. It's just language. It's a description. Use math in physics. Math won't change if physics works or not. Awesome time, Matt, again for another $2, which says, V, stop running and answer Soft's question, please. That was a brilliant question, by the way, Soft.
The one about what would make you think you're on a globe?
Yep.
Yeah. That's the one I asked most people right to begin with, and you could see he just kind of went blank. He was like, he realized nothing.
Exactly. If you hadn't been told that you were on a globe, what would make you think it? What observations? What experiences? You know what I mean? Nothing.
Yeah.
Not a thing.
Yeah, exactly. And another $2 super chat from Roger Little. Thank you very much. He says, that's the sight of hand and people are that dumb. Yep. Because that was the thing, guys. When the people watched that live moon landing rubbish from the Chandra, they did believe it real. I was looking at the super chats. I was looking at the comments. I was looking at the people's commenting on Facebook and everywhere. They literally thought that's real. I even get Globies today fighting saying that's real.
And it's crazy, you know, because Elle said Atari 2600. That's exactly what I said. I've seen it. Exactly
It looks like one of them critters. It looked like one of them critters in Space Invaders. Remember?
Yeah, like Centipede. Yeah. Oh, I think it was Centipede. Where you on asteroids, where you're sitting there kind of in the middle and do. Yeah.
Gallagher.
And another $5 super chat from Retro Bull. He says, most Globers don't understand math, and yet they believe proving that lack of math skills plays zero role in whether you accept a flat or globe Earth. Exactly. That's what I said. Some people have skills in math. Some people have skills in art. Some people have skills in racing. Some people have skills in woodwork. Just because you have a skill in something doesn't mean you don't understand something else. I don't have to be a brilliant mathematician to understand the mechanics behind the maths. You understand? I don't need to be a mathematician to understand gravity is just applied into the math because they need it to be there. I mean, I can change that G to unicorn farts. That's not going to make gravity unicorn farts real.
No. Just because you write down G doesn't make gravity real. That's the dumbest shit.
That was my point. That was my point. Exactly.
You draw a picture of a unicorn. It doesn't make it a real thing, right? Come on,
exactly. Roger Nettle for another $2 super chat. He says, you gave him too much room.
Yeah.
I have to say, at least it was a nice discussion. I'm happy he came on.
Yeah, this is what these people have to understand. And it's indicative in a lot of their remarks. They'll say, well, you still think the earth is flat? And what do you mean still? Did you think it was flat and then became aware of a globe somehow? Yes, that's exactly that happened. That's exactly either that, or you think I suddenly zapped here from 1480 and, or some shit like that. What? So that's an interesting statement. You still believe the earth is flat? What? You thought it was flat and then became a glober? What happened?
Yeah.
But I would like to have a conversation with him like one-on-one sometime, because I do think he is kind of in cognitive dissonance pain. I do actually think that.
There's definitely a bit of that going on, without a doubt.
I mean, we were all there at a stage, like we were all Globies. We all had that, that initial, this is like kind of dumb. Although we didn't take it to the extremes that he's taking it, though. You know what I mean? But I think he is influenced by the anti-flat Earth side. That's for sure. He's definitely influenced by their way of mentality thinking, unfortunately.
It shows how blind we can be, because even when I sussed out that the moon landing wasn't real, I still believed in space. Still believed you could get there. I just didn't believe they did it. For a little while.
Sharing.
That's me. My wife's in Florida, and they just launched the latest rocket this afternoon, and my wife was able to catch it on video where she was at.
Oh, nice.
CGI, Dave. CGI.
Yeah, man.
Watch it starts going straight up, and even Cassidy, my daughter. Now she thinks flat Earth, whatever. Yeah. And she goes, look, it's curving over. Why isn't it going up? It's not going to space. Why doesn't it look like it's going to space? And my wife just said, because it's not.
Well, you know what the anti-flat Earth argument is? Oh, because it has to reach a certain dropfall rate to get out of Earth's atmosphere. Orbital mechanics, man.
Yeah, I mean, already it started to arc. You know what I mean? And it's still quite steep, but already it started to arc.
Yeah. I mean, that's the
Maybe
same
look at
as a
those.
model rocket will do. You know, it
But
doesn't
look at
ever
those
go.
rockets. But look at those rockets that they like try to shoot straight up. How it just explodes into something. Like it hits into something and it kind of explodes.
Nice.
I don't know why this thing keeps pausing.
I was going to say it's definitely fake soft because I just seen an edit there.
No, it keeps stopping. I don't know why. System probably needs to be rebooted.
Yeah, mine just crashed me again. I think I have to finish updating Chrome or something. It just keeps cutting out of me. 3 times it's happened now.
Look at that column. Look at that column.
Wow.
But you know what I was saying, that there's been like an increase in the number of their launches and going to put out Starlink and all this shit, and it's like major damage control. No, you're going to space. We're on a globe. Look, space.
That's it. It's definitely increased in the past few years. Without a doubt.
And all the money that's been spent supposedly on all this shit, let's compare that to the benefits that we've received back here on Earth, right? What benefits has this money pit brought us?
Hungry people.
The aqueduct.
Think about it. They can use that money where it really matters, but instead, no. Makes more sense just to waste it on space. So.
Well, I think that's all she got of it, but
cool.
Really, really awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so guys, any closing statements? I think we're going to end it here. We'll try part 2 tomorrow, where we actually go through the documentary.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a couple of minutes into it, something like that. Yeah, decent enough conversation. Like you say, a bit of cog disc going on.
You should definitely try to get him on again for like a full, like proper discussion, like not a debate, but just a normal, like free, open like discussion.
Aye.
I think we were sort of getting into it tonight, but I think that is great.
Aye, so try like arrange that with him sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see
that'd be
the
great.
bias.
I think we can actually get along quite well, to be honest.
Yeah, you can see the bias in him definitely, but I don't think he's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I'd still think he's. Yeah.
I think he's
well
trying to work. I think he's just in that mind where he's trying to work everything out. You know what I
I
mean?
kind of hope what I ask him put a splinter in his brain. I do. I hope that what I ask him put a splinter in his brain, because it always does. You know, I was at the store after paying taxes. I stopped to get cigarettes in Luray, and I was standing there, and I was talking to this woman, and I forget how we got into it, but we got into it, and I started explaining how gravity's a myth and this other kind of crap, and she was fascinated. And I told her, I said, I have a YouTube channel. I wrote it down. I says, come on and check out the show. Join up if you got a question or something. So it's like right there, she's like, God, that makes so much sense.
Nice.
And I was like, yep. Another one. Ding, ding.
Nice. That's it. What it's about, man.
Yeah. Roger Legel, $2 super says, Velcro, Dave, Velcro. Thank you for the super chat, man. You rock. Oh, yeah, Glenn Selsh, I think I invited you on PUBG, man. I hope it's you. But if you're looking, if it's not you, then just search Flat Sword. Please, Glenn. It'd be great to have you on there. So, PJ, you can start first. Are you got any shout outs for premieres or shows or anything?
I might do, because I didn't do one today. I did a premiere today instead of doing a live. I did a premiere, but I did 3 lives yesterday. So yeah, if you haven't checked out yesterday's live, Mikey Smith was in the afternoon. Then I had the Tower of Babel found one, but it messed up at the end. So because it messed up at the very end, I kind of disappeared and I couldn't get back into StreamYard while all my participants were left there. But it would allow me to end the stream, but it wouldn't allow me to add myself back in. So I had to stop the stream and I started a new one and just went on for another hour and a half because of it. So I ended up with 3 streams. But I might do a morning coffee, 7 p.m. GMT ish. So I think. Don't know what about, just anything. But yeah, very possible.
Awesome. I see Dislord also in. Hi, Dislord, anything to say? Wow, that was brilliant wording. Thank you, Dislord. You're welcome, man.
Absolutely, dude. Well said, dude. Well said, man.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. Shut up. Let someone else speak.
That's how done.
Go ahead, Al. Oh, there we go. What's up, Dislord?
You just go on and on and on.
I know, man. Sure.
Once you get you going, you kind of shut you up.
Right, man. Spitting
You know how it is.
off a donkey, man.
Aye. Fucking hell. It's wild, eh? Take a breath.
I think that's a clippable moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what the crickets.
That silence, yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure. That was like the longest silence. Well, it was a good pause.
I think he was expecting it. Nobody does. Nobody expects that one. And it's like as soon as you hit it, it blindsides the shit out of him because there's never.
I know. He also tried to run away from when I was speaking to him as well.
No, I think we gave him quite a lot to think about tonight, because I think he is under the impression that, like I say, he came from a bias, thinking that all flat earthers are just, dishonest and stuff, which isn't the truth. So I think he was very hesitant to talk. So it's good that he actually came so he could see for himself. It's not just as he portrays as people are portraying it to him, I think. So,
well, this idea they come up with it, and they do it for attention. Listen, if I'm going to get attention, I would prefer that it be in a positive manner. All you have to do is say the earth is flat and you're going to get abused. Okay? That's So that kind of eats that argument right up, man. That eats that one right up.
You can say so much just insane shit and you'll be fine. But if you say the earth is flat, that's you at like the guillotine. You can say literally the most wild shit online, doesn't matter in real life. You'd be like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I disagree, but, or I don't know about that. But as soon as you bring up flat earth, it's just, you're done. You're like no longer like a human being to them anymore. It's like disgusting.
So Brian Stevens says NASA has had $650 billion since inception. What do you think they could have done with that $650 billion? There could have been so much infrastructure for the poor people. A lot.
Somersaults in space aren't cheap now.
No, of course not.
Well, they have to keep putting Teslas up in space, so those roadsters can't get there on their own. So Salva, you have a show coming up?
I don't have anything tonight, probably tomorrow night. I'm gonna take care of a few things around the house here tonight and just kind of lay back and watch what everybody else is doing.
You're disappointing Luca, man. Come on.
What's that?
You're disappointing Luca. He wants to watch the show. Come on.
Well, yeah. Listen, my audience decided to get rid of Luca. It was funny too because he must have come in with a bunch of sock accounts or something and voted no about shit canning him off the show, because I didn't see anybody saying, "Oh, leave him stay" or anything else like that. But all of a sudden, there toward the end of it, it shot up to the no's were like 36%, but it still wasn't enough. So unfortunately, my audience decided.
That's what happened here, wasn't it? It was the audience that didn't want him. It was like, can't be bothered with him. You can see the.
And then I saw he said something he said something derogatory about Flatzoid in the chat, so I banned him from there too. So he's not coming back to my channel anymore.
Well, yeah, he did it. He did it in Germans that night. You guys were, I think it was the guys night. You guys were debating. I think. I'm not sure. It was one of the nights anyway. But he said that he was going along with the narrative that I was always nasty to him in Flatz's chat. And Norman Cross got him told, saying, "Nah, PJ's always been nice to you. He's always been fair with you." Stop lying. So he does. Your son got him right to the T. He plays
Yeah,
victim.
man.
He uses that.
Yeah, man.
Dude.
Ryan nailed it. Nailed it.
Yeah.
It was funny as shit too, because all he could do is just sit there and listen to it.
Absolutely. Nice.
Yeah, so guys, that was a great. I really enjoyed tonight. I think it was great. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow night for hopefully attempt number 2 at looking at the documentary. Thank you very much for coming, everybody. Thank you for the super chats, for hitting the like, sharing the show. We were at like 125 people at stage, so that was quite good.
Yeah,
Thank you very
there
much.
was loads.
Appreciate everybody, and